I'm here with Virgin Radio, ahead of the Oasis reunion tour in the summer. Today I'm joined by Jack Yates and James Yates from the band Pastel. Thank you for coming in. How are you guys getting on?
Very good.
Amazing.
Tired,
always good. Always good.
Middle of the tour.
Yeah.
How excited are you for this Oasis reunion?
Ecstatic. I think
Doesn't sound it, but he is very excited.
I think it was one of those things where you kind of always thought it was going to happen, but now that it's happened, it's like it's quite mind blowing. I think
definitely.
it's quite surreal.
And how important were Oasis in you two forming the band?
Oh, extremely important. I
It's
remember.
the first band to listen to, really.
I remember. I moved to Wales a couple of years before Jack did, and Jack was still in Manchester. And one day he phoned me, and he'd been to watch the
Supersonic in home cinema. Yeah.
And he phoned me
remember
up
that.
and he was like, I've just watched this Supersonic. We need to start a band. And I'm like, yeah, that's all well and good, Jack, but we live 200 miles away from each other. But that was the seed.
That was the first moment,
That was the planted seed that for when we actually started the band, it all came from that phone call.
So that documentary, seeing that is the reason
that was the
you
first time I wanted to be in a band. Yeah, that was the first time. Never thought of it before.
But you'd listened to the music obviously loads before.
Yeah.
But it was seeing that really galvanised you into doing it.
Yeah.
And what is it about Oasis? Is it the tunes, the swagger? Is it?
It's everything.
Attitude
It's
mainly
the attitude, yeah. Like I remember. So when I moved to Wales, I remember my dad was taking me into school for my first day, and I was a bit like, I don't really know where I'm going with this. And my dad was like, "Listen, if anyone gives you any grief, just tell him your uncle's Noel." Like trying to joke about it. And it made me think, when you look at Oasis and they just got this attitude and swagger, but they're like such normal people as well, it made me feel like, it gave me like a bit of a boost, like when I got sent into school, I was like, well,
So like relatable is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Relatable. And talking of the tunes, what are your favourites?
Oasis tune.
Mine's Acquiesce. I like
The Liam and the Noel.
Yeah, I like that.
Playing off
I
each
can
other.
Imagine me and Jack doing something.
Yeah, not as good, but we'll try.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
Hope I think I know. That's mine. That's outrageous. Liam's best vocal performance, where it's just breaking. It's class.
That's on the master plan.
I don't know what it's on.
No. Be Here Now.
Yeah,
Be
that's
Here
the
Now.
one,
Sorry.
yeah. I think that's my favourite, definitely. Class
brilliant.
tune.
And favourite albums?
Obviously, definitely, maybe's like the.
What's Roll It Over on?
That's one of the later ones.
Is that on Gas Panic? Because that's an underrated album.
I'm not sure. I think so.
Standing on the
It-
Shoulder of Giants.
Yeah, that's an underrated.
Roll It Over's another.
Roll It Over's a tune. Yeah,
That's a proper.
That was-
immerse yourself.
that's our tour tune. We have like when we're in the van doing loads of gigs and stuff. We have like a certain song for each tour, and I think it was Roll It Over. Every like sort of come down and like hangover we just turn it on full, no one would speak, and blast it out.
Yeah,
and just get through it. Yeah.
And how did you first hear Oasis? Was it just around growing up?
Yeah,
I think
parents-
you
pretty everywhere in
when
Manchester,
you're in
innit?
Manchester, you haven't really got much choice. I mean, our parents have got all into good music, but even if your parents weren't into good music, it's like a religion, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's just something about Manchester bands. Why do you produce so many great bands?
I don't know. Liverpool do better though.
What do you think? You've got Joy Division, New Order,
Actually,
you got
no, yeah,
Oasis,
you're right,
the
yeah,
Smiths,
Manchester do better.
Stone Roses.
I don't know. Do you know what I think it is? It's like Manchester's got a seriously. You can't swear. Can I swear?
Probably not.
No, got like a seriously like fu attitude, and it really doesn't care. Like, some people might think that it's arrogance, but it's not. It's like we just get on with things.
Yeah, getting on with it. That's what it is.
Like people,
just do it, man. Stop wandering about.
Yeah, like
making excuses.
Like you go to lots of other towns and cities and areas in the UK, and there's like a bit of a victim mentality of like,
too much avocado.
Yeah, like.
But I do like avocado.
The place was the place was destroyed with industry and stuff. Whereas Manchester was destroyed just as much as anywhere else, but we just get on with it.
on.
Yeah, get our heads down and pull our socks up.
And like Oasis, your family, your cousins, right? Does it erupt between you two in the same way that it does between Liam and Noel?
No, I think
We usually
always
just take
say
it out on
this.
other members of the band.
Yeah, like Liam will just get, not Liam Gallagher, our bass player. Liam will just get bullied instead. No, I think because there is like a, I don't know, it's not like direct brothers. It's like it's taken away one step. The gap kind of makes it easier, so there's less friction. You know, there's more flow and stuff. So like people always assume that we'd argue all the time, but we don't. We both want the same thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We're both trying to go in the same direction. So us arguing's only gonna hinder that, innit? You know.
Hours on the road though, you know, city to city on the bus or wherever you are on the train, does it not get a
you
bit?
You want to kill each other, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not even just me and him. That's every member.
To be the good thing is a lot of the time after gigs, Jack won't speak.
That's the
in
best
the van.
thing. Yeah. Don't
So
speak
he's like,
at
you
all.
can't really argue with him if he's shutting up, can you?
And being young, you won't have remembered too much about Oasis when they were still together the first time. Does it feel weird to sort of have them back? Have you ever really grown up with Oasis, or has it always just been this band that have existed, but you've never even?
Happened,
Yeah, it happened.
Yeah, that's what it was for us.
I tell you what, I do remember. Right, my first Oasis memory. So next to the City Ground, there's a big Asda. Anyone from Manchester will know it.
It's big Asda.
It's just called the Big Asda.
The Big Asda.
And I was in there once with my grandma, and Oasis were playing at the Etihad or whatever. I can't remember what it was called then. But they were playing one of their last gigs there. I'm guessing like 2005, and I was like,
I'd have been 5.
I was like this big, so not much taller than I am now. And I remember hearing them playing Lila from inside the Asda, you know, from the stadium. So I've kind of got that early memory, but apart from that, yeah, they've always been a band that I've always wished was happening, but wouldn't.
Yeah.
But saying that, you've got more knowledge than most of us about Liam.
Yeah.
You supported him at his Knebworth shows in 2022.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
It was a bit of a weird one because basically the band that it is now sort of formed in lockdown, and we sort of had a new lineup, completely new songs, and then it sort of started to climb nicely, and then through a couple of people like Mikey Johns and Charlie Lightning and stuff, who were like friends of ours, who were friends with Liam, was showing him past like songs, and he fell in love with Deeper Than Holy, which was our first single. So when they announced the Knebworth shows, we had no idea of this, and then out of nowhere we got an email to say, you know, would you want to do it? To which we obviously said no, we want more money. And then they give us a lot. No, they didn't. We were like, yeah, obviously.
We actually paid.
Yeah.
Paid to do it.
And yeah, and it just came from there, and we've met Liam a few times now, but the first time we met him at Knebworth, when we played the gig on stage, I thought we're gonna have to thank him at least for the opportunity. So I said thank you, and then for some stupid reason I decided to call him a dirty blue.
Thank you, Liam. It's a shame he's a dirty blue on stage in front of all of his fans.
And
Madness.
then it was like, well, everyone's like, why would you say that? I thought nothing of it anyway. And then the next day, we got taken back somewhere to meet him, and he just glides over, because he doesn't walk, he glides like that. And he had this like big fluffy smock on with his hood up, and he went, what was that about? And we were like, what? And he went, yesterday he said, I googled dirty blue and nothing
came up.
But then I googled dirty reds and your two ugly mugs come up, and then opens his jacket and pulls out 2 cans of Guinness and was like, right then that's
like Inspector Gadget.
yeah.
Bash.
But he was saying like, he said for when he ended up being in the NME or something, and he read it that
He was
night.
fuming first, wasn't
And
he?
he said for 10 minutes I wanted to come round and stab you. And then after I calmed down, he thought, actually no, that was pretty cool, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Seems like something he would also do.
Yeah. Oh, he'd do worse, wouldn't he? He's a good laugh.
Yeah, what is he like? You spent much time with him.
He's just nice.
He's everything you would expect him to be and more.
I think he's been portrayed as a bad guy, but he's completely the opposite.
Yeah.
Just welcoming and really into his music, and really, he didn't just get us on.
Innit?
Yeah, he didn't just get us on. He was like, I watch your interviews. I look, you two are funny, so he's invested in it. He's just a nice guy all round.
You might be watching this now. Hello, Liam.
Hello, Liam.
Was it weird to look at him and think,
Yeah,
Oh,
for a little bit.
that's
I
one of
mean,
my
I was-
heroes.
I woke up actually in this after party on like whatever day it was. I think it was my birthday actually. I woke up after Knebworth and I went up from his bed in this caravan, and because I needed a kit for a
Not
minute.
that kind of caravan, it was a posh caravan.
It was a posh
right?
caravan, yeah, one of those silver ones. And I woke up, went up, and I just seen Liam on the guitar. And he was playing deeper, and all James was showing him the chords because he wanted to know it. And I just was like, nah, I'm going back to bed. I'm not joining in on that. That's madness.
And how did the day go at Knebworth? Was it just whirlwind?
Fast, man.
Do you know, it was we were so in our early stages of the band that
It's
we
never really
we were just naive to it all. We didn't actually
realise the gravity of the
which I actually
situation.
think is a good thing, because we skipped on stage as if it was nothing, because there was nothing to compare. We couldn't comprehend it, you know what I mean? Until that moment, our biggest crowd was probably like a few hundred people.
Yeah.
You know, to walk out to like tens of thousands, it was almost like, because we were so young as a band, that I can't really.
It's never really been took in, has it? Really?
No, I don't want to take it in either. I'd rather just like, if you start taking it in, then you know, I'll take it in when I'm like in my 70s,
50,
smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
Did you feel the history, the momentous occasion of Knebworth? Were the reminders of like those Oasis
for me,
gigs?
when we got on stage the first time, I think we were actually just sound checking, and they just opened the gates, and you seen people run into the
hundreds of
front,
people
just
sprinting.
sprinting over this like field, this horizon, running over down this. Oh, it was mint. I started to get a little buzz in my stomach then. That was mint. That.
Yeah.
Can we expect to see you at the Oasis gigs in the summer?
In the crowd.
Is it
yeah.
The crowd.
Hyde Park?
No, we're not supporting
The
what
Manchester
he's
one.
doing.
Yeah.
No,
we're not
Liam not give you a call. No.
No.
We're going to one of the gigs though in Eaton Park.
Oh, you're going to Eaton Park, yeah.
Yeah.
Unreal. And what are you looking forward to from that?
It's getting
Do you know what?
smashed.
I'm looking forward to just watching the first song. You know, just
that first chord.
yeah.
Like,
just
that's going to be mental.
all. Yeah.
What do you think that'll be?
I don't know.
It could be anything, couldn't it?
Hello, maybe.
It makes sense, wouldn't it?
It's good to be back. Yeah.
And your sound, you know, is hugely influenced by these Manchester bands, Oasis, Stone Roses, and other Britpop acts. What is it about that time in music that's so special to you?
I think it comes down to the attitude.
Yeah.
You know, like the influence that they had, like from the 60s and stuff, is something that we're heavily into. It's just, I don't know, like when we started the band, right, the main reason why we started the band was just because the music that we like listening to
Wasn't made, really.
many bands making it, so we just thought, well, we'll just have a go.
Yeah.
That's the main reason. And I think I can't give you like an exact answer of what it is, but I think it's a culmination of things, like the
That's
music,
a good word, that
the
culmination. Like
the
that.
music, the attitude, and stuff like that. Yeah.
And why does Oasis music and other acts of that time, why does it still get played? Why does it still endure?
Because it's timeless, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's not following like a formula of.
It's not got no agenda. It just says what it is, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's just music.
It's just
what
good
they felt
music.
then.
Simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
And like you can tell a song from the era it's from, because it's just like, people, once something gets to number one, everybody wants to write songs like that one, and it just becomes crap. Whereas if you're just writing good music that you like a lot of these bands did, and like what we're trying to do, then it should hopefully be timeless.
Speaking of your band, you have just released your debut album, Souls in Motion. How does it feel to have that out in the world? You've been going for a while with it now,
Yeah,
finally your debut
Special
album.
It's been a long journey.
to finally have it out, because we had a lot of setbacks. It wasn't anything to do with us, it was other people, like, but you get to the point when it comes out and everything starts to.
It's like you could breathe again when it was out, I think.
But when it came out, it was like everything happened for a reason, and the timings were perfect of it. You know, there's things that are like happening now that wouldn't have happened if we'd have released it 12 months ago.
Mm.
You know, I think we were ready to release it then.
Yeah.
And it reached #1 on the record store chart.
Yeah, which is pretty wild.
Yeah.
Knocked a few people down.
Yeah.
You get the. So you've got the
Got the plaque
yeah.
somewhere.
the
Yeah.
plaque, the award. How does that feel?
Good. Heavy, heavy. isn't it?
Yeah, UK #1 in a way.
Well, our manager Jay got it for us, and he brought it to the gig last night in Bristol. And after the gig, I was sort of sat on my own on the couch, just staring at it for ages. I was like,
It's a little achievement.
that
isn't
is,
it?
you know, I like we were saying with the Knebworth thing, we've not taken it in, we've not like, you know,
It's sort of
and it's a little
everything
bit-
happens so fast. You don't get time to take it in. When
yeah.
it got to #1, it was like, oh yeah, that's mint. And then it's like, what's the next thing we're doing?
yeah.
And then, like James says, when
But I
he
did
sat
have a
there
little
with
30
it, it's like,
seconds of just going.
just a single tear
fair
came
play.
down.
And Andy Bell, the guitarist of Ride, bassist in Oasis, he's described your music as magic.
Yeah.
When someone like him describes your music as that, what
Going
do
in
you?
the right direction, aren't you
Yeah.
then?
Well,
Does that just give you reassurance? That,
Yeah.
You almost have this insecurity of people at that level would just think that your music's rubbish.
Yeah.
So then the fact that Liam Gallagher loves some of our songs and Andy Bell loves some of our songs, you you just think, well, we must be doing something right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You must be, you know, you can't listen to all of it, whether it's good or bad, because it'll send you
one way.
But
yeah.
it's nice to have that appreciation from people who've achieved.
in the same craft, innit?
Yeah,
And I saw pictures that you were hanging out with Ronnie Wood
yeah.
recently. Tell us how that came about.
So, Charlie Lightning, who I talked about before, who does a lot of Liam's music videos, he's a film director, and he became a fan of us. Like, he's seen us on Instagram, and now we're all good friends. And he was doing the Trailer Park Boys film. I don't know if you've ever seen Trailer Park Boys. So they did a film, and we went to a wedding in Amsterdam last year, I think.
That was mental. that
And
wedding.
it just so happened that they were filming part of this film in Amsterdam the same time we were there for this wedding.
As soon as we got off the plane,
So
wasn't
we
it?
got off the plane and went and met Charlie, and we hung out with the Trailer Park Boys and stuff.
Do you remember when you asked Billy Bob Thornton who
Yeah.
he was?
Yeah. Billy Bob Thornton was there. I said, "Oh, so what do you do then?" He's like, "I'm kind of the star of the show." Oh. Anyway, but we hung out with him. We had a laugh, and then they asked me and Jack to go to Glasgow. We had like a
A
couple
little
of lines
cameo
each.
thing.
So we went up there and we did that, and we got to hang out with them all again. And then they were actually like, by the end of it, they were like, actually, we're going to sack you 2 lines off. We want you to actually... The end of the film is a big celebrity filled party at Abbey Road, and we want you to be the band that play.
Like the in-house band for this party
so
thing, yeah.
we were like, all right, okay, then take our 2 lines out. So we did this big scene at Abbey Road with like Ronnie Wood, Duff McCain from Guns N' Roses,
Martin Freeman was
Martin
there.
Freeman was
Robert
there
Sheehan, Eric Burton.
from the Animal. There was loads,
just
like I can't
shed
even
loads of
remember now.
people.
It was pretty overwhelming, to be honest. Again, one of the things.
Not gone in my head.
And so we play the song from the film, and all these people get up, and Ronnie Wood's turning to me, because obviously he's just like rocks up, and he turns to me and he's like, "What are the chords, man?" And I'm like showing him like what to do, and I can't believe that I'm showing Ronnie Wood how to play this song. This is absolutely beyond. And then when we had the premiere for the film a few months later, they asked us to like perform after the screening of the film again, and then just about half an hour before, Bubbles comes up to me and he says, "Oh, have you just got a spare amp?" And I said, "I think so, yeah." He said, "Go and get it and see if you can get a guitar, because I might ask Ronnie if he'll get up and play with us again." So we got to do it again and play with, and again he's like, "What we playing?" And there's
Doesn't have a
pictures
clue,
of
but
me
he's
like
just vibing,
showing
innit?
him how to play it. It's just
He's
wild.
such a dude, though, innit?
To play with a Rolling
Such a
Stone
dude.
is like, that's up there for me.
Does he have that aura as
Yeah.
well? Just
Oh,
like
yeah.
that
Yeah.
exudes rock and roll.
Yeah.
Did you get many stories out of him? Did you get to chat to him much?
He
or was
he
it-
was talking about with his wife, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
he was. There was one story where
He doesn't drink anymore.
Basically, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this, but him and Ringo Starr at some point in like the 70s or the 80s were kidnapped, right? Filled with a load of drugs and sent to an island to a recording studio.
Sounds pretty fun.
And
that.
they were just made to write songs for some like billionaire. But he said it took them like 5 days to realise, because of their lifestyles, especially back then, because they're just in it, and they probably thought, all right, we've got to write the next album. They didn't even realise for 5 days that they'd been kidnapped, filled with a load of drugs, and
it was just a normal day for them.
Some guy like billionaire was just gone, I'd love to have an album with a Beatle and a Rolling Stone. So kidnaps one of each and sends them to,
That's absolutely wild.
Yeah.
Oh, can't even fathom that. But you guys are back out on the road this year. You're playing some big gigs with Razorlight, Ocean Colour Scene.
Yeah.
You looking forward to them?
When does this go out?
Soon.
How soon?
Before Monday.
Probably not.
So we're going.
Probably. Or yes, definitely.
Oh,
not.
we've come this far. We're going on tour with Cast at the end of the year.
Oh, unbelievable.
Which will be good, because obviously they're doing the Oasis dates, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
In the summer, and then off the back of that, they're going to announce a big tour, sort of like October, November, December.
It's everywhere, isn't it?
So we're the main support for that.
Oh, amazing. And Cast, big heroes of yours, of that era.
Lars, in it. It's just that sort of lineage of just
John
greatness.
Power,
my God, yeah. One of my favourites, them too.
Oh, brilliant. And finally, this takes us on to our final question. Cast, great Britpop band. We've launched Virgin Radio Britpop as a new radio station. What are your favourite Britpop songs?
Is There She Goes Britpop? Because I'd say it started at that.
There She
probably
Goes.
that.
Question.
Gonna have to give me a minute properly there.
Is Groove is in the Heart, is that a Britpop song? Can we have that one? You know that one I mean?
Groove is in that.
I know,
Delight.
Yeah, I know it's not like a
Delight.
band, but I love that song. Do you know the one I'm on about?
Yeah, another one.
That's what I'm throwing in there. I don't know whether it's...
But it seems to like encapsulates that sort of
it is
time.
that era, isn't it? Yeah.
That's my shout.
I don't know, probably something from Blur. I mean, Blur.
Yeah, Blur's...
Blur are top there. They're Britpop, aren't they? Proper Britpop.
Blur over Oasis, is that?
No, whoa. Don't start that argument.
Sound from Blur about Park Life.
I like Country House.
I like
Country House. It's a bit of a little farmhouse thing, yeah. I like that one.
Brilliant. Well, Jack and James, thank you very much. You can catch Pastel later this year on tour with Cast and other acts, various other shows.
Anywhere you want, in your house if you want.
Thank you very much.
Nice.